My wife left a note saying, "Don't be mad, I need to find myself. I am sitting here at 2 a.m. drinking whiskey and trying to make sense of what happened to my life. 2 months ago, I came home from work to find a handwritten note on our kitchen table and my wife of 23 years completely gone. The note basically said she was taking our trip without me, the trip we had been planning for over a year. She quit her job, cleaned out most of our joint savings account, and said she wasn't sure when she would be back. Maybe a year, maybe sooner. I knew you would understand, honey. I need to do this for me. I absolutely did not understand. Let me back up. My wife Sarah and I are both 50. We have been married since we were 27. Our 2 kids are grown. One's finishing college. The other just got married last year. We had been talking about this big travel adventure for months. The plan was to take early retirement, sell the house, and spend a year or 2 seeing the world while we are still young enough to enjoy it. The catalyst for all this was Sarah's mother living with us for the past 4 years. Her mom has dementia, and it was brutal on everyone. Sarah especially struggled watching her mother deteriorate. Her grandmother had dementia too, and Sarah is terrified she will develop it in her 50s like the other women in her family. I might only have 10 good years left, she would say whenever we talked about the future. I want to live them fully. I understood that fear. I really did. We would finally moved her mom into a memory care facility 3 months ago. Sarah was devastated by the decision, but we both knew it was necessary. We were burned out, our marriage was strained, and we needed to reclaim our lives, so we made our plan. Wait until summer 2024, then start our adventure together. Apparently Sarah decided she couldn't wait. The note ended with "I love you and I will call soon. Don't be mad. This is something I have to do." I haven't heard her voice in 2 months. She texts maybe once a week with things like "Beautiful sunset in Arizona tonight," or "The mountains here are incredible when I call." It goes straight to voicemail. When I text asking when she is coming home, she either ignores it or says something vague like "soon." I promise. Meanwhile, I am drowning financially. We both had our own checking accounts for our paychecks, but we pooled everything in joint savings. She took about 80% of it. I am paying the mortgage on our house alone, both car payments, insurance, utilities, and everything else, on just my income. She left me with maybe 2 months of expenses in our account. I had to get a credit card just to buy groceries last week. The worst part, she is posting pictures on Instagram like she is having the time of her life. Hiking in national parks, staying in nice hotels, eating at restaurants I recognize from travel shows we used to watch together. Last week, she posted a photo from some beach resort with the caption, "Finally learning to put myself first. Grateful for this journey of self-discovery." The comments are full of her friends saying things like, "You go girl," and "so proud of you for following your dreams." One of her college roommates commented, "Your husband must be so supportive to encourage this. You are lucky to have someone who gets it." Sarah hearted that comment. I want to scream. Encourage this? I didn't even know about it until I found that damn note. I have talked to a lawyer. She said there is not much I can do right now since it has only been 2 months. And Sarah technically has legal access to our joint accounts. She suggested I document everything and wait to see if Sarah comes back. If she doesn't return in a few more months, we can start divorce proceedings for abandonment. The good news, my lawyer said, is that any money she took will be factored into asset division if you divorce. She cannot just steal half your retirement and walk away. That is assuming there is anything left by the time she comes back. My kids are furious with her. Our daughter Katie called me crying last week, saying she tried to reach her mom and got a text back saying, "Cannot talk now, sweetie. I am in the middle of finding myself. We'll call soon." That was 3 weeks ago. Our son Mark is talking about cutting contact with his mother entirely. What kind of person abandons their family like this? He asked me. My friends keep asking if I am okay, and honestly, I don't know. Some days I am furious. Other days I am just confused and hurt. Sarah and I had problems like any long-term couple, but I never saw this coming. We were supposed to do this together. We planned it together. But apparently Sarah decided I was holding her back somehow. The house feels empty. I have been working longer hours just to avoid coming home to the silence. I eat dinner standing at the kitchen counter most nights because sitting at our table alone is too depressing. I keep expecting her to walk through the door with some explanation that makes sense. Sorry, honey. I had a breakdown, but I am better now. But it has been 2 months, and she is posting pictures of herself looking happier than she has in years. I think my wife is gone for good, and I don't know what to do with that edit. Thank you for all the support. To answer some questions, yes, I have changed all passwords and removed her access to accounts I control. No, she hasn't contacted our kids beyond that one text to Katie. And yes, I realize this is probably the end of our marriage. I guess I am still processing that edit too. Someone asked about the Instagram posts. She posts maybe twice a week with location tags and inspirational quotes about living authentically and choosing joy. Comments are still turned on and she responds to friends like nothing's wrong. It is surreal. Update 1. I wasn't going to update this, but something happened yesterday that pushed me over the edge, and I need to get it out. First, thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. Reading your responses helped me realize I am not crazy for feeling abandoned and angry. Several people suggested I stop looking at Sarah's social media, and I tried, but I needed to monitor it in case she posted location information my lawyer could use. That turned out to be a mistake. Yesterday, Sarah posted a 10-minute video on Instagram. She is sitting on what looks like a beach in Mexico, hair blowing in the wind, looking relaxed and tanned. The video is titled "Why I Chose Myself," a message to anyone struggling to live authentically. I am going to paraphrase some of it because I cannot bear to watch it again. 3 months ago, I made the hardest decision of my life. I left my comfortable but unfulfilling life to pursue my authentic self. For years, I was suffocating under the weight of other people's expectations. I was a caregiver, a wife, a mother, but I had lost myself completely. I know some people think I am selfish. They think I should have stayed in my little box, playing the role I was assigned. But I realized that if I didn't save myself, no one else would. I was dying a slow death of conformity and obligation. This journey has taught me that we have to choose ourselves first. We cannot pour from an empty cup. I spent 4 years caring for my mother while watching her mind disappear. Just another day living someone. To anyone watching this who feels trapped, you have permission to choose yourself. You have permission to want more. You have permission to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your highest good, even if other people don't understand. She never mentions me by name, but she talks about leaving behind relationships that had become codependent and stepping away from people who couldn't grow with me. The worst part? The comments. Hundreds of women calling her brave and inspirational. Sarah replied, "He is learning to support my journey. It is not always easy, but real love means wanting your partner to be their authentic self." I nearly put my fist through the wall. Real love? What the hell, real love? Real love is what I showed her for 4 years while we cared for her mother together. Real love is holding your wife while she cries about her fears of dementia and promising you will face whatever comes together. Real love is not emptying your joint bank account and disappearing with a fucking note. I called my lawyer immediately. I told her about the video and asked if we could use it in divorce proceedings. She said it actually helps our case because Sarah is clearly stating she has no intention of returning to the marriage. She is essentially admitting to abandonment, my lawyer said. And the way she is spending money while leaving you with all the bills shows financial irresponsibility that a judge will not look kindly on. I have decided to file for divorce. I cannot do this anymore. I cannot keep paying for the life she abandoned, while she gaslights the internet about how supportive I am of her journey. My kids are even more disgusted now. Katie watched the video and called me sobbing. She is talking like she was some kind of prisoner. Dad, like we were holding her back from being happy. Was she miserable our whole lives? Did she never want to be our mom? I didn't know what to tell her. Maybe Sarah was miserable. Maybe she felt trapped. But the way she is handling this, the lies, the financial abandonment, the public narrative that I am somehow supporting this, it is cruel. My son Mark texted me after seeing the video. "Mom's lost her mind. Don't let her come back, Dad. You deserve better than this." Even my mother-in-law, Sarah's own mother, who doesn't remember much these days, asked about Sarah during my visit yesterday. When I told her Sarah was traveling, she looked confused and said, "She left you. That is not like Sarah. Sarah's a good girl. Even in her dementia, she knows something's wrong. I have started the divorce paperwork. My lawyer says we can cite abandonment and financial irresponsibility. Since Sarah took our travel money, she owes me half of what she spent, plus the cost of maintaining our household while she has been gone. The house is going up for sale next month. I cannot afford it alone, and I don't want to live in our shared memories anymore. I am getting a small apartment near work and starting over at 50. Part of me is terrified. We have been together for 23 years. I don't know how to be single at this age, but I am also starting to feel relief. I don't have to wonder when she is coming back anymore. I don't have to hope for explanations that will never come. I am done being the abandoned husband waiting for his wife to finish finding herself at my expense." Edit. Several people asked if I will serve her papers in person when she returns. My lawyer says we can serve them through publication if we cannot locate her. But I am hoping she comes back for Christmas so we can do it properly. Edit 2. Someone asked about our kid's relationship with her. Katie is devastated, but still hoping her mom will come to her senses. Mark has said he is done with her until she apologizes to our whole family. It is heartbreaking watching them process this. Update 2. Sarah texted me yesterday, coming home the 20th of December for the holidays. Hope you have missed me as much as I have missed you. Cannot wait to see our beautiful family again and share everything I have learned about myself. This has been exactly what I needed to become the wife and mother you all deserve. I screenshotted it immediately and sent it to my lawyer. The audacity is breathtaking. She has been gone for 4 months, emptied our savings, ignored our children, and posted videos calling our marriage unfulfilling. Now she is waltzing back, like she has done us all a favor by becoming the wife and mother we deserve. My lawyer has the divorce papers ready to serve. We are waiting until after Christmas because she will be staying in our house, which I still legally cannot prevent, and my lawyer wants to serve her when she cannot immediately flee again. Let her get comfortable, my lawyer said. Let her think she is coming home to the old situation. We hit her with reality. I have told the kids. Katie is conflicted. She is angry, but also desperately wants her mom back. Mark is coldly satisfied, he said when I told him about the papers. Maybe this will finally. The hardest part is that I have to pretend everything's normal until we serve her. I have to let her think I am the supportive husband she has been telling Instagram about. I have to bite my tongue when she inevitably tries to justify what she has done. I have been preparing for her return by documenting everything. Bank statements showing what she took and what I have spent maintaining the household. Screenshots of her social media posts. The video where she essentially admits she abandoned our marriage. My lawyer says we have a strong case. Sarah has no idea what is waiting for her. Her last text said she is excited to start planning our delayed travel adventure together. She thinks she can just pick up where we left off, like the past 4 months didn't happen. I am not the same man she left. I have had 4 months to think about our marriage, and I realize I have been making excuses for her selfish behavior for years. The way she handled her mother's illness, the way she made everything about her fears and her needs, the way she talked about our life, like it was a prison she needed to escape. I loved her, but I cannot trust her anymore. If she could abandon me once with no warning, she will do it again, the moment life gets difficult. My plan is simple. Let her enjoy Christmas with the kids. They deserve to see their mother, even if she doesn't deserve them. Then serve her the papers on the 26th of December. My lawyer calls it a post-Christmas gift. The house sold last week. I close on my new apartment, the 15th of January. By the time Sarah figures out what is happening, I will already be moved out and starting my new life. I am nervous but also excited. For the first time in months, I feel like I am taking control instead of just reacting to her choices. She chose herself. Now I am choosing myself too. Edit. Some people are asking if I am being too harsh. Maybe. But she made her choice when she decided our marriage was something to escape from, rather than something to work on. I am just making mine. Edit 2. Someone asked if I will give her a chance to explain. What is to explain? She took our money, abandoned our family, and spent 4 months publicly portraying herself as some kind of liberation hero. Some actions don't deserve second chances. Final update, it is over. Sarah got served divorce papers this morning, and the look on her face will haunt me forever. But not in the way you might think. She came home the 20th of December exactly as promised, with a suitcase full of souvenirs and stories about her transformative journey. The kids were polite but distant. Katie hugged her, but I could see the hurt in her eyes. Mark shook her hand like she was a stranger. Sarah seemed oblivious to the tension. She spent Christmas Eve showing us photos on her phone. The beaches, the mountains, the people she would met. She kept saying things like this changed my perspective on everything, and I feel like I finally know who I really am. When I didn't react with enthusiasm, she would touch my arm and say, I know this was hard on you, honey, but you understand why I had to do this, right? For us? Christmas Day was surreal. She acted like nothing had changed, like she hadn't abandoned us 4 months ago. She made her famous coffee cake, wrapped presents she had bought during her travels, and kept talking about our next adventure together. I have learned so much about what I want from life, she told me while we were cleaning up dinner. I think we should start with Europe. Maybe rent that villa in Tuscany we always talked about. I just nodded and said we would discuss it later. This morning, the 26th of December, the process server knocked on our door at 9 a.m. Sarah answered in her robe, probably expecting a package delivery. Sarah Mitchell? The woman asked. Yes. You are being served with divorce papers. The confusion on Sarah's face was immediate and complete. She stood there holding the envelope like she couldn't understand what it was. There must be some mistake, she said, looking back at me. Jake, what is this? It is exactly what it looks like, I said. I am divorcing you for abandonment. She stared at me for a long moment, then at the papers, then back at me. But I came back. I am here. We can work this out. You have been gone for 4 months, Sarah. You emptied our savings and left me a note. That is not something you work out. That is something you divorce over. She started crying then. Not the careful, photogenic tears from her Instagram videos, but ugly, panicked sobbing. You don't understand, she kept saying. I had to do it. I was drowning, Jake. I was losing myself completely. I thought you would understand. I thought you would wait for me. I did wait, I said. I waited 4 months, while you spent our retirement money and posted videos about how unfulfilling our marriage was. I waited while you ignored our children and told the internet I was supporting your journey. I am done waiting. She tried everything then. Anger. How dare you ambush me like this? I just got home. Bargaining. Give me a chance to explain. Let me show you what I have learned. Manipulation. Either parents, don't break up our family over this. I stayed calm. I had had 4 months to prepare for this conversation. You broke up our family when you left, I told her. I am just making it official. The kids came downstairs during this. Katie started crying when she saw the papers. Mark put his arm around his sister and glared at his mother. You brought this on yourself, Mom, he said. Dad waited for you. We all did. But you cannot just disappear and expect everything to be the same when you get back. Sarah looked at our children like she was seeing them for the first time. You are both against me too. We are not against you, Katie said through her tears. We are just tired of being hurt by you. Sarah spent the rest of the day trying to convince me to reconsider. She called her sister, her friends, even her mother's care facility to ask them to talk to me. Everyone she called told her the same thing. She had made her choice when she left. Her sister was particularly blunt. Sarah, you cannot abandon your family and expect them to welcome you back with open arms. What did you think would happen? By evening, Sarah's shock had turned to resignation. She sat at our kitchen table, the same table where she had left her note 4 months ago, and finally asked the question I had been waiting for. What do you want from me, Jake? I want you to sign the papers, I said. I want to split our assets fairly, including paying back what you took from our savings. I want to sell this house and move on with my life. And then what? We just pretend we were never married. Pretend we don't love each other. I thought about that for a long time before answering. Sarah, I loved the woman I married 23 years ago. I love the woman who stood beside me through everything life threw at us. But that woman wouldn't have left me a note and disappeared with our life savings. That woman wouldn't have posted videos calling our marriage unfulfilling while I struggled to pay our bills. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, "I am not the same person I was when I left." "Neither am I," I replied. "She is staying in our guest room until she figures out her next move. My lawyer says the papers give her 30 days to respond. If she contests the divorce, it will get messy and expensive. If she signs them, we can be done in a few months." I moved into my new apartment yesterday. It is small, but it is mine. I feel like I can breathe. Sarah texted me this morning. "I never meant for. I really thought you would understand." I wrote back, "I understand perfectly. You chose yourself over our family. Now I am choosing myself too. I don't know what happens next. Maybe Sarah will fight the divorce. Maybe she will disappear again. Maybe she will finally understand that actions have consequences. What I do know is that I am no longer waiting for her to decide what happens to my life. I am 50 years old and starting over. And for the first time in months, that feels like a choice instead of a punishment." Edit. Several people have asked if I feel bad about serving her right after Christmas. Honestly, she chose to come back for Christmas knowing what she had done. If she wanted a different outcome, she should have made different choices. Edit 2. To those saying I should have tried counseling first, you cannot counsel someone who isn't there. She made her position clear when she left. I am just responding accordingly. Edit 3. Someone asked about custody of our adult children. They are both adults who can make their own decisions about relationships. Mark has made his position clear. Katie is still processing, but she is not taking sides as much as she is protecting herself from more disappointment. The chapter where I rebuild on my own terms has begun.